In this video, I'm going to be comparing the cost of working on my Super Duty myself versus taking it to a dealer or a shop. It's cold in here, time is money, and I've been out here and had to buy a bunch of tools to get this done, so let's break it down. Woo! Here we go. So I was hoping to do this in the order that you're supposed to, which includes pulling this through here, getting this guy to pop out and sliding the whole axle shaft out of the knuckle, and then do the ball joints because then you can get better access to everything. But it doesn't want to cooperate. See if I have better luck separating these on the bench. Come here, big girl. That's a big one. I've replaced my ball joints. You can see this one ain't right. It's pretty crooked from the accident that the Super Duty was in. I've also replaced my front U-joints.
There it goes, there it goes.
That was a whole process there, getting that axle shaft out for that. Also needed to buy a special tool to get the seal for the vacuum actuated hubs in there. Replacing the hubs themselves with Kryptonite parts. So needed to buy a couple special tools. I had ball joint press I borrowed from a buddy. Might have had to buy that. We'll factor that in. And I had to buy a big old pry bar because I couldn't get that axle shaft up. Also had to buy a new impact because mine didn't have enough juice to get some of these bolts out and this thing free. So with that, we're going to break down the price. I'm going to cover how much I paid for all this stuff. I'm almost done with this job. I'm going to slap this last hub in, and then we'll break down every dollar I spent on tools and time and anything I needed to get this done versus just dropping it off and having somebody else do it.
Not counting the parts, which you have to buy either way, just for the labor on this, you're looking at about a 7-hour job, 7 labor hours at a dealer or mechanic shop, ranging from $150 to $250, give or take. Let me know what y'all are seeing in your area, but I'm looking at about $1,500 worth of labor here for a 7-hour job, and I spent about $400 on new tools, plus I borrowed that ball joint set. That's normally $120, so you could call it $550 I spent to do this job. Now with the $1,000 I saved, I just bought a brand new iPhone, got a ton of storage, so I can make some more content for y'all. Opening up the Kryptonite hub here, part number KR435. Even has a build date on here of September, and we've got a little card here, tells you what it is, how to install it, even gives you torque spec on it, so that's pretty nice. So you don't even have to look those up. Comes with the actual 4 studs that go in it to attach it to the knuckle, new snap ring, and an O-ring for the hub itself. I wanted to mention when I bought the actual vacuum seals from Ford, the box came with the 4 bolts that hold on this hub, as well as that same snap ring there and the O-ring. So I have extra O-rings and stuff because I bought those hubs, which you need for this kit. So buying those from Ford was pretty solid, and then buying these from Kryptonite comes with it too. So good deal there. Also have new O-ring for the actual locking hub. You can see the old red one there, and then it has a new gasket here, as well as new hardware for this from Ford there. So really stoked on that. Even has some instructions on the process of doing all that. So pretty standard for it to come with the ABS wire, but I'm excited about that because mine was kind of old and crusty looking, and it's right there on the 4-link or the radius arm. So that's all fresh and good. So I'll get that out of the way and then get these studs in. I'm going to take 2 of my nuts that hold that on and then just kind of reverse them at each other like that so that they lock in together and kind of fight each other, and then I will tighten those down that way with the Loctite on them. Get these wrenches real close to each other, and I'm turning the wrong way, so that you can just squeeze them together like that. That's the trick right there, boys. If you can hold your mouth right. It's all about how you hold your mouth. There you go. Rinse and repeat. Got all 4 studs installed there with blue Loctite, and I could have done this first, but I do need to put this O-ring on here. I didn't see the one that came in my Ford goodie bag there, and then the Kryptonite one here
is the same with the snap ring. And I'm gonna put the Kryptonite one on there just because it came with the Kryptonite hub, just to make sure everything's happy, but those look about the same to me. All right, so I'm gonna put a little grease on this so it goes on real nice and slides in without rolling around and getting pinched and tearing itself up. So grease her up real good on here with all these studs in the way. I don't know about where y'all are, but it is cold, boys. And it can't make up its mind if it's gonna be cold or not, but it's cold right now. I'm gonna try to throw this snap ring on here right around y'all. See if y'all can get a good look at it. Just kept some pressure on it all the way around. I think I'm close. Oh yeah, I forgot I need to pop the axle shaft back this way a little bit. There you go. Just popped the axle shaft out a little bit with the pry bar, and I can see I got some gap there now. So what's happening if you don't do that, you're just pushing the snap ring towards that bearing and it'll bottom out. It won't go in far enough. You need to have the actual stub shaft sticking out towards you while you're doing it. And you got to open this up real big. You know, long, skinny pliers are going to work a lot better than these little guys, but they fit in there. If I can do it, I'll be in there. I think I might have just done it. Yep, there it went. There's that noise you'd like to hear. Cleaning up this factory hub a little bit, so I got to get this old kind of crusty, rusty gasket off of here, O-ring, and then I'm going to put some new grease on it. Take that guy off of there. So I'm taking my time and doing this very meticulously, and I'm curious what you think of whatever dealer or shop you would take your truck to, if they would take as much time to, you know, actually replace the gasket instead of just slapping this on, you know, greasing it, following the even the instructions that Ford gives you when you buy this seal kit that tells you which order to do what and all that good stuff. Maybe they do it right every time and they get QA checks. I don't know. Let me know what y'all think about who you would take your truck to. I know they wouldn't be painting every little bit black along the way like I'm doing, but that's just, you know, a little extra. Make it look that much better. Doesn't make it perform any better. Taking some alcohol to it just in case my greasy mitt got on that somewhere. Get the last of that adhesive off. That's money right there. Greasing this whole thing up. We'll get it back in. Instructions say to lock this, grease it, install it, and then unlock it. All right, here she goes. 55 inch-pounds. Planning to replace the calipers, rotors, and the brake lines at some point. I got new BDS braided brake lines, and then these rotors and pads aren't in bad shape, but it just might, you know, make it all new at some point. But even still, I've greased up the pads and everything and made them real nice and slick, same as the actual pistons that the caliper slides on there. So that's something that, you know, some mechanic may or may not do while he's at it. It seemed like a good idea to me. Let me know what y'all think. Or should I have just went ahead and put new brakes on it now and not even waited around for it? I don't have them with me, so I'm gonna put this back as if I was leaving it like this, just in case I take it for a test drive or something before I get brakes. But I've already depressed the calipers a little bit. Everything's all greased up. Just gotta slide it in the right spot. Get the bolts back in, we'll be good. Yeah, those are 25 foot-pounds, whereas the big bolts that actually hold the whole bracket on are 125 plus foot-pounds. So glad I didn't send it on these. Just gonna do one ugga-dugga. These were completely dry and crispy. So put some grease on the back side of them and where they ride. A little bit full of brake dust too. You can see I just cleaned this one out. and it has a nice gap in the middle. There's plenty of life left in them, but just cleaning that brake dust out. A lot of the rust and like why the axle, like front steering components and everything were so crusty is because this thing sat outside in the humid, you know, Florida and Alabama weather for a while till I got the shop. And it was in Louisiana and, you know, was kind of a work truck. I think the guy used it for his business, for his LLC or something, so it wasn't kept indoors or anything by any means. You know, it's an F-250, it's a work truck, so I'm gonna clean her up though, make her pretty. Obviously you don't want grease on the stopping side of this. This is just on the sliding parts that kind of come in and out, and honestly this is just kind of so it's not rusty on this. Looks like a different type of grease was on these, but I think adding some is going to be better than not. That's like airtight, makes it pop back out, so got some good return spring action there. Let me know what y'all think. Should I have greased both sides of these or only the caliper side important to grease? I don't know. Just makes me feel better that it's not all rusty in there, even though it's going to get full of brake dust the first time you go down the road. I am stupid. That is the wrong side. Kryptonite in, boys. Whoo! Gotta tighten them down, cotter pins, and grease fittings. So I've looked down the side of the hubs there to the back tire, and I think my base measurement here that I went off of from the old factory tie rod assembly was good. It looks pretty darn straight, so I'm gonna leave it alone. The Kryptonite's nice and, you know, there on the front before the alignment, so I'm gonna leave it there. And I got some big fat 24-inch adjustable wrenches from Harbor Freight because I wanted to make sure I get these tight. It's 185 foot-pounds or something like that. 100 and something foot-pounds to get these lock nuts torqued down. So I'm gonna go ahead and tighten these up. That'll be set for basically keeping the tires going the same direction. And then I noticed my steering wheel is all kinds of upside down, so I'm gonna try to align that by loosening this one or tightening it until that looks straight, and then set it down and tighten up my bolt, verify the steering wheel is still in the right spot and all that good stuff. So that's where I'm at right now. Nice, feel good about that, didn't leave a mark, that's great. Put my key in and unlock the steering wheel, and then just turn this thing till the steering wheel looks straight, and you can see it rotated around enough to where Kryptonite's back at the front, so that's pretty cool. I think I'm gonna leave it right there. Steering wheel looks good to me, but before I tighten this down with the giant wrenches, I'm going to put the tires back on it, set it down on its own weight, tighten that track bar bolt, see if that changes the steering wheel or anything like that, see how that's looking, and then be done with the steering till it gets in alignment, which, you know, will be probably when the thing's totally done driving around. But this should be good enough, you know, eyeballing it just to drive it in and out of the shop while I work on the body swap. Can't lose on 42s till you go to pick them up. Oh Lord, oh, don't kill me. There we go. Oh yeah. I don't think my legs can go any wider than 42 inches. I think I'm cramping up. I just picked this thing up because it was only 40 bucks, and I've been rolling around on the floor and I didn't realize they were that cheap, so I'm gonna try that out. And I got that while I was getting my wrenches, so I'm gonna get up under here and try to tighten it all down. Oh man, that's luxury right there. Why are you so jumpy? She's tight. Look at that grease coming out of there. I took my grease fitting off right there because I lost one, and I felt like this one was the one I could spare because I greased the crap out of it. And yep, look at that. There she is, boys. I've been talking about doing this Kryptonite steering for over a year. Wanted to do it all methodically, and I'm glad I got this thing sitting on its own weight. 4-inch lift with the Fox coilovers, 4-link conversion. Got rid of the bent radius arms I had from the wreck. Got rid of the bent ball joint. I got fresh U-joints. Seals I didn't want to replace, but I had to get ball joints and everything done. This thing is done for now. So now I can get it out of the shop, work on my Cat Eye Chevrolet. It's got the low oil pressure I need to fix so I can daily drive the thing. Put some mud wraps on it, which I've got right over here. Pretty excited about the 37s on it. Gonna try to do like a 3-inch lift, maybe 4-inch minimal lift on 37s. Excited about that. Give y'all a little bit of Grappaholics content. I know the rock crawling, trail grappler, crazy swap stuff, it's not everybody's cup of tea, but keeps me busy and motivated out here. So with that, I'm gonna get this thing out next video, get that Chevy in here, probably do some before and after stuff with that. But thank y'all so much for watching. It's been really exciting to get all these parts and pieces done, and it kind of gave me a peace of mind after knowing it was in a wreck and it wasn't right. Something was bent, something was crooked, the alignment was, you know, pushed over from the accident. Now I know it's good. I touched everything. I know that I triple checked it 100 times, and I'm feeling really good about it. Thank y'all so much. I'll see you next time. Pulling out of heaven real quick, had a couple more to show you. Here's a couple nice Blazers. That one's probably my favorite right there. And then there's this Duramax who daily drives and drives it back and forth from North Carolina to New Jersey apparently, so that thing's pretty slick as well.